television and online. Catch the lessons every weekday on KBC Channel 1 from 2 to 4 p.m. on KBC English Service and 15 FM from 9:15 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Radio Taifa from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. KBC English Service, Radio Taifa and 15 FM are also available countrywide on the free-to-air Signet digital TV platform, or log on to www.kbc.co.ke for live streaming or download the KBC Online app on Google Play Store. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, ensuring learning no matter what.
The road to the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations brings us home to another exciting qualifier where Harambee Stars host the Colasantes of Comoros on Wednesday, the 11th of November at Kasarani. Watch it live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 at 7 p.m. as we continue to showcase Africa's best on your true sports partner. Betika proudly brings you Kenya vs Comoros AFCON qualifier live on KBC Channel 1. Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Ugonjwa wa corona utaingia. Tuka-apply tuweze kupunguziwa ile pesa ambayo tunalipa weekly.
Next on.
You know nothing. Even what you see with your eyes can be a lie.
Guys, I'm looking for corner gym. Is this it?
Si hundi umeandikwa hapo kwa sign.
I was just expecting something a bit more appealing.
A bit.
Uhusiano wangu na Equity kwa hakika umenisaidia.
Good evening. This is Channel 1 Weekend. I trust you've had a lovely Sunday. It is the 8th day of November 2020 and we have a lot in store for you. For now, let's take a look at the highlights.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
America's divisive poll. Biden launches bid to unite the country in his acceptance speech as Trump troops to court maintaining election fraud.
And Bernard Chariot's son is the 2020 Istanbul Marathon champion.
Kenya's moment. Kenyan duo shine at the 42nd Istanbul Marathon. And Devolution journey. Devolution CS Eugene Omalo speaks out on the hits and misses ahead of the President's State of the Nation address. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Jacky, Wambiru, and our sign language interpreter is Byron Abule. Now, to kick us off, Joe Biden delivered his acceptance speech following his election as president with a promise to unify the country that was deeply divided during the electioneering period. In his speech delivered in Wilmington, Delaware, Biden said voters delivered a convincing victory after he won with 74 million votes, the highest ever in the history of the country. Trump has maintained there was fraud in the election and is yet to concede defeat or appear publicly since Biden's win.
And it is now my great honor to introduce the President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Kamala Harris, who is poised to become the first female vice president in recent U.S. history, introduced Joe Biden for his inaugural speech as president-elect.
3 weeks short of 78 years old, determined not to show it right now, feeling this moment. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., who will be the 46th President of the United States.
In his history speech delivered in Wilmington, Delaware, Biden pledged to be a president who seeks not to divide but to unify, who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States. And work with all my heart, with the confidence of the whole people, to win the confidence of all of you. And for that is what America, I believe, is about. It's about people. And that's what our administration will be all about.
Biden also reached out to Trump supporters directly, saying it was time to put away the harsh rhetoric and lower the temperatures. The president-elect announced that he would form a coronavirus response committee to ensure it is ready to implement decisions from his inauguration day in January.
The people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory, a victory for we the people. We've won with the most votes ever cast on a presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million.
Biden's running mate, Kamala Harris, paid tribute to her late mother, an Indian immigrant to the U.S., and the other generations of Black, Asian, White, Latina, and Native women who paved the way for this moment.
When she came here from India at the age of 19, she maybe didn't quite imagine this moment. But she believed so deeply in an America where a moment like this is possible. And so I am thinking about her and about the generations of women, Black women, Asian, White, Latina, Native American women who throughout our nation's history have paved the way for this moment tonight.
This is what we needed. This is what we've been waiting for. It's a day of celebration. The sun is shining for us.
Spontaneous celebrations erupted in major cities after Biden's victory. Disappointed Trump supporters demonstrated in some cities, has pledged to challenge the result in some battleground states. Still on the same, moments after Joe Biden was declared the president-elect, world leaders began to send their congratulatory messages hailing Biden for his victory. President Uhuru Kenyatta was among the leaders who hailed Biden, saying he was a friend of Kenya and his win opens up a bigger and better platform for Kenya and the US to engage. Congratulatory messages began to pour in following the election of Joe Biden. President Uhuru Kenyatta, in his congratulatory message, termed Biden's win as a demonstration of Americans' confidence in the leadership credentials of the former vice president, saying he was a friend of Kenya and his win will serve to strengthen the ties between the two countries. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga congratulated Biden, saying he looks forward to joining hands to address global challenges like the coronavirus pandemic, slowed economies, democracy and climate change. French President Emmanuel Macron stated Americans have chosen their president, saying they have a lot to do to overcome various challenges. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeted he was looking forward to working together and building both nations. Tsai Ing-wen, the president of Taiwan, congratulated Biden and Harris on their win, saying the values on which they have built their relationship could not be stronger, adding she looks forward to working together. Kenyans have welcomed the election of Joe Biden as U.S. president with optimism that it will revitalize bilateral relations between the two countries. Kenyans have also hailed the election of Kamala Harris as the first female U.S. vice president, saying her achievement has given purpose to women around the world.
The election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has been received with jubilation in several countries around the world. Kenyans have joined the world in congratulating the Democrats, saying the victory will go a long way in strengthening Kenya's relation with the U.S.
I believe he has the capacity. He has learned a lot from his predecessor, Obama, and I'm hoping he's going to be better in terms of performance and delivery to the people of the United States and to the large extent to the Africans.
Nafikiri atawaongeza vizuri juu kama hata saizi ni mzee, ile issue wa Amerika walikuwa nayo atajua atawafanyia.
Ni mtu mtulivu, alafu ni mtu ambaye amekomaa. Hata ukiona vile anaongea, vile anaongelesha watu, unaona ni mtu mzuri ambaye anaweza ongoza mzuri.
Joe Biden trounced Donald Trump in an election that was closely monitored by millions around the world, among them Kenyans.
Rais wa nchi yoyote ameshindwa, ni vizuri aitikie wito wa wananchi. Hasa kama wananchi wao wenyewe ndio wamepiga kura na kwa uamuzi wao wa kikatiba wakaona ni vizuri wakuwe na kiongozi fulani.
Kenyans are also delighted by the historic election of Senator Kamala Harris as the first female U.S. vice president.
It makes me feel proud. At the same time, I admire her courage because it's not easy in a foreign country like U.S. to have a black woman in the government. So I think she stands out as a role model to other girls out there.
I feel good. I think it's a step towards the right direction.
Kwa sababu no one is limited. We can only limit ourselves. But if you have the vision to lead other people, then, and the people can believe in you, then they will give you that capacity and authority to lead.
Kamala Harris's achievements come at a time the Kenyan legislature is struggling to achieve the two-thirds gender principle. As the United States of America prepares for a Biden administration come the year 2021, Kenyans at home hope that the two countries can enjoy working relations for the mutual benefit of the same. Reporting for Channel 1 from Nairobi County, my name is Yusuf Farah.
Well, it is indeed the rise of a new era. Now, in other news, 108 people have succumbed to COVID-19 in the last 7 days, in as the number of new infections remained on an upward trajectory in the country. The Ministry of Health is reporting 719 more new cases on Sunday, while 8 others have succumbed to the virus. Nancy Okwara with the details of the rising COVID-19 cases as the government moved to put in place new measures, including banning public gatherings to contain the spread of the disease.
Speaking during the funeral of his sister-in-law in Sisoke area of Navakolo constituency, Emmanuel Wangwe called on head teachers to avoid sending learners home during this period when a number of schools have reported COVID-19 cases. Wangwe saying that the learners may transfer the virus to their parents in the event they were exposed.
Wache watoto wabaki shuleni kwa sababu wanapoketi shuleni kama tayari wamesha tangamana pamoja, kama mtoto ana ugonjwa atarudisha tu hiyo ugonjwa nyumbani.
He further urged teachers to teach students the importance of protecting themselves, even as he called on the area residents to adhere to all the Ministry of Health guidelines to contain the spread of the coronavirus.
Tufundishe watoto wetu jinsi watakavyokaa kujilinda in terms of social distance, vile na kufunika uso wetu na barakoa. Funika mdomo yako, funika vizuri na barakoa. Na kama huna barakoa hata leso pia inafunika vizuri, so that uache kupumua hewa ya jirani yako.
Nancy Okwara, Channel 1 News.
Kenya on Sunday joined other Commonwealth countries in marking the annual Remembrance Day. The Memorial Day has been observed in Commonwealth member states since the end of the First World War in honor of the members of the armed forces who have died in the line of duty.
The annual celebration is marked by prayer and laying of wreath at war memorial grounds spread in the Commonwealth countries. On Sunday, members of the Kenyan and British armies gathered at the war memorial along Ngong Road to pay tribute to their fallen gallant soldiers.
So this is a special place and this is a special day. We're here to remember those in the armed forces who've lost their lives in the line of duty, and we come here as a community really to honour the service that they have given.
These graves are really very symbolic to us as they give us a real sense of the sacrifice of previous generations and what they went through in order to allow us to live in peace. And so we come together in this act of remembrance to really pay homage to their sacrifice, but also to come together to remember those that have survived and over the years have been able to contribute into society too. So it's been a really important day for us.
Brigadier Mark Thornhill emphasizing the importance of world peace.
So what we're doing here today is to remember the importance of war and the very large sacrifices that are made, but also the fact that this conflict has led to a great deal of peace and security for those of us that are lucky enough to have lived in this time. Really are able to enjoy living in a peaceful environment.
On previous occasions, Remembrance Day attracted a larger number of attendees, but this year, the attendance has been lean due to COVID-19 restrictions. During the World War I, many Kenyans were recruited as soldiers. Others worked as porters carrying ammunition, food, and other supplies. For Channel 1 News, I am Emily K. Buddy.
And in the political arena, Religious leaders have been urged to take the lead in enlightening Kenyans on contents of the Building Bridges Initiative report. Speaking in Kitengela, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and Kajiado County Governor Joseph Olelenku said religious gatherings offer the best platform to sensitize Kenyans on the importance of the BBI.
As Kenyans continue to engage on the contents of Building Bridges Initiative report, politicians supporting the cause want the church to play an active role in promoting the BBI agenda.
We are told very clearly as Christians, and I'm talking to my fellow Christians, the people of God, they perish for not having the knowledge. So we need to know, to have the knowledge of the BBI, so we don't perish thinking that we are having everything, but yet we are having half-cooked information. I would really urge every Kenyan, as a Christian, to read the BBI.
And in fact, if there's a place to discuss BBI, I want to submit, is actually in church. Because this is a document that carries this nation. This is not politics. This is our life.
Speaking in Kajiado County, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka said churches are a good platform to enlighten Kenyans on the merits of the BBI and that churches must rise and seize the moment. Kajiado County Governor Joseph Olelenku expressed confidence that the Ma community will continue to back the proposed constitutional amendments contained in the BBI.
Tuweke amani kama taifa, kama county, kwa sababu mambo ya maendeleo, iwe mabarabara, iwe sewerage systems, iwe masoko, they all count for nothing where there is no peace.
They are saying the Prime Minister will come from dynasty. If you look at the BBI, the Prime Minister will come from the National Assembly. So will Uhuru go back to Katundu to run for presidency, for MP, for him to be a Prime Minister? Please, wacheni kudanganywa.
ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi, speaking after attending a church service at the Christ is the Answer Ministry Church in Nairobi, called for a deeper reflection on the process of consensus seeking in the ongoing BBI debate.
It's a listening process, and it's always important on matters of such weight important that people are listened to.
Mudavadi cautioned leaders against using the proposed referendum as a pedestal to gain unfair political mileage ahead of 2022 general elections.
So I'm only pleading to you that let us see what can be done to zero in on a more united position as a country during this interim period. Once the referendum is over, whichever way it goes, the political formations for 2022 will then be seen after.
Mudavadi spoke even as a section of the clergy from Narok County called for an expedited translation of the BBI into Swahili.
Already now it is out. I would like to request all the Kenyans to go get this, booklet. Let's see the information and let's be sober. Let's not be biased.
Tunaomba watu wote wa Kenya wajisomee na tuache ile hali ya kusema kwa sababu kiongozi wangu amesoma kama bishop ama MP wako, mbunge wako ama MC, hata nami nimenajua kwamba hiyo kitu ni sawa.
Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
That report by Kevin Washira brings us to a break here on Channel 1 Weekend. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Naishi Kawangara stage 2. Nilikuwa nasomea primary school, ilikuwa inaitwa Emmanuel Glory Academy. Sikuwa naona kama naweza join high school, but my teachers waliniambia kama kwenye hamujiwezi kujoin high school, sasa mkiwork hard class tutawasaidia kujoin program ya Wings to Fly. I worked hard and I got scholarship. I was able to be among the chosen few. Form 2 tumeingia hivi, term ya kwanza walilipia. Sasa kukatokea na hii pandemic ya coronavirus, wakatuambia tukuje home. Mtu kama mimi sasa nilianza kushtuka, sasa nikasema nitasoma aje sasa. Wings to Fly program ikaleta hizi radio na solar zitusaidie kuniwezesha kuendelea kusoma hata kama ni usiku. Equity wao wanatupatia pesa kidogo ya mahitaji hapa nyumbani. Saa zingine nakanga tu chini naambia Mungu asante kwa kunisaidia nilijoin hii program. Najua naweza achieve dream yangu siku moja to become a lawyer. But kasi Wings to Fly singeweza kufika hapa hata penye nipo.
Kiswahili for Form 2 coming up right now, and then biology.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1, on the next episode of Ashoka.
Look, if you have to protect your mother and the motherland, then in order to defeat every enemy of yours and to face him, you have to stay ready.
If you want to save your life, then you will have to save me.
Time is not far when I will prove everything.
Nilipochukua hii loan, hatukuwa tunajua kwamba ugonjwa wa corona utaingia. Tuka-apply tuweze kupunguziwa ile pesa ambayo tunalipa weekly.
Next on,
it cannot be used for a selfish motive.
It is very important that my father receives this message as soon as possible.
Practicing the art of black magic is illegal in Magad.
Uhusiano wangu na Equity kwa hakika imenisaidia.
Welcome back. A family in Mandera is demanding justice after their kin passed away while waiting to undergo a cesarean section. The family of 21-year-old Fatuma Abdi is accusing staff at Mandera Referral Hospital of failing to act speedily to save her life. She is reported to have died while waiting to be admitted for surgery.
It's a story that brings to the fore the sobering reality of the risks women in the country continue to face during childbirth. At 21, Fatuma Abdi arrived at the Mandera County Referral Hospital after she was referred to the facility by a private hospital when she developed childbirth-related complications. Her kin had hoped they would take both mother and child back home, but that was not to be.
Sisi tuliwaambiwa msichana imekufa. Bado jijote alifanyiwa. Kama hiyo msichana anafanyiwa operation na mtoto akakufa na yeye akakufa, tunarilika. Lakini tunaona hapa hakuna kazi yoyote ambayo anafanyika katika hiyo hospitali.
The family is now accusing the hospital of gross negligence in the handling of the expectant mother, who they allege arrived at the hospital in pain at 2 p.m. but remained unattended until 5 p.m.
Serikali, msichana yetu alikufa hospitali pamoja na mtoto yake, tunataka alipishwe demi yake haraka sana na iwezekanavyo. Kwa sababu hiyo msichana kifo watu kuna mtu anaweza kusugia, kila mtu anakufa, lakini hiko kitu inaitwa bila kufanyiwa kazi mtu. Kama msichana anafanywa operation na mtoto akakufa, tungirilika. Tumebeleka saa 8, tunaeleza kama hiko msichana yuko na pressure amerukia na daktari hiko, hakuna kupimwa, hakuna kutibu, hakuna kufanya operation. What is that?
The family now says it will seek legal action against the county government of Mandera for negligence.
Sasa sisi kama wananchi wa Mandera na hiyo tendo hakuwezi kufanyika sisi baki yetu. Tunakumbuka yuko 3, 4, 5 wananchi wanalalamika kila mara. Madaktari najaa. Hiyo mimi tunaona kama hakuna kazi inaweza kufanyika hiyo Mandera. Tunaomba serikali, county government, hii wale madaktari zote hapa abadilishwe.
Through their lawyer, The family wants to get answers why the kin was not attended for 3 hours, despite a doctor on duty being around the facility. Lawyer Ali Ibrahim has accused the county hospital of trying to circumvent the outcome of the autopsy by insisting that they want to conduct their own postmortem parallel to that of the family. Health officials from the county did not speak to the press but promised to issue a comprehensive statement Monday. The family has since forcefully taken the body of their loved one for burial. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 Niza.
In other news, the Kenya Snakebite Research and Intervention Center has begun research on venomous snakes in Baringo with a view of tackling the shortage of antivenoms in the country. Baringo, Kitui and parts of the coastal region have in recent months recorded a sharp increase in snake bites, resulting in an increase in the demand for antivenom.
The recent spike in snake bites in the country and shortage of anti-venom has left Kenyans badly exposed. A single snake bite can lead to serious injury and in some cases can lead to death.
We're working closely with the county and the medical practitioners to improve on their skills and expertise in the management of snake bites. And at the same time, like I had mentioned earlier, we're also working with the community hand in hand to enable them, empower them to be able to use correct practices of first aid whenever they're affected by snake bite.
Baringo County is among the regions that have continued to record an increase in the number of snake bites in the recent months.
Close to 50-60% of the snakebite victims coming into the health facilities, it was ending up in death. So you see, this is a very bad statistic really for our people.
The Kenya Snakebite Research and Intervention Center has been using the sort-it approach to tackle the burden and management of snakebite in Kenya. The center also hopes to improve community engagement, both of which have been identified as key in reducing the burden of snakebites by 2030. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Leaders from Meru County are decrying an influx in trafficking of drugs between Meru and Laikipia counties. Bore Member of Parliament Rindikiri Mugambi is calling for a high-level security meeting among leaders from both counties to tame the flow of drugs that is interfering with the livelihood of the locals. These and more stories in the county news briefs.
Speaking in Kibirishia, Meru County, the Buri legislator pointed out that illicit brews and hard drugs were finding their way to centers in Meru, hugely affecting the productivity of young men in the area.
Kwa hiyo Madam DCC imeshaongea na County Commissioner tayari na tuko na jama ya kukuja ndio tukae chini, kwa sababu pombe ya kulevya na madawa ya kulevya inapitia liki ile vijiti ya liki inaingia kwetu sehemu inaitwa Nkando, alafu inapitishwa kuja pande hii. Kwa hivyo naomba tushirikiane kwa haya.
Meanwhile, attempts to unify two churches in Kiambu County has fallen through following counter-accusations between respective leadership. Members of the African Independent Pentecostal Church of Kenya and those of the African Independent Pentecostal Church of Africa have been working on modalities of reuniting the churches following a dispute over leadership.
Hii kanisa yetu ni independent. Na ikiwa independent, hatuko chini ya kanisa lingine. Ile kitu tunakuaga naye, tunakuaga na Devolution. Na Devolution ni makanisa mingi zaidi ya 100.
And over 2,000 principals across the country have been equipped with modern information and communications technology skills by the African Digital Schools Initiative Project.
Sasa kwa wakati huu walimu wetu wako na ujuzi wa hali ya juu kwa kutengeneza hata content wakitumia softwares ya ICT ya technologies.
Elsewhere, 50 schools in Mandera County have benefited from 10,000 litres capacity water tanks from the National Government Affirmative Action Fund.
Kwa hivyo leo niko na shule wamekuja kuchukua tanks ndio watoto wale wanaenda shule kufanya exams wakute kuna preparation imefanywa already, kuna maji, kuna sanitizer na kuna masks.
Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Channel 1 News.
The road to the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations brings us home to another exciting qualifier where Harambee Stars host the Colasantes of Comoros on Wednesday, the 11th of November at Kasarani. Watch it live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 at 7 p.m. as we continue to showcase Africa's best on your true sports partner. Betika proudly brings you Kenya vs Comoros AFCON qualifier live on KBC Channel 1. Gear up and maintain a healthy, fit and active lifestyle right there at home by keeping up with Gear Up on Channel 1, 5:30 to 6 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Gear up every day for every moment, and remember to stay home and keep safe.
And in the sports arena, Kenya's Bernard Sang and Diana Chimtai Kipkei braved a stiff opposition to match victorious at the 42nd Istanbul Marathon. The duo won the World Athletics Gold Label Road Race in 2 hours 11 minutes and 49 seconds and 2 hours 22 minutes 6 seconds respectively.
A pack of 9 men, including Bernard Sang, Felix Kimutai, Hailu Zeidu, and 2008 Olympic bronze medalist Edwin Soy, was making his marathon debut, went through 10 kilometers in 31 minutes, 47 seconds, and halfway in 1 hour, 07 minutes, and 15 seconds. Sang, Kimutai, Zeidu, Teshgai Getachew, and Cosmas Biret stayed in the leading pack at the 25-kilometer mark. Getachew and Biret were unable to maintain the pace to the end as Sang, Kimutai, and Zeidu fought for the victory.
And Bernard Chariot Sang is the 2020 Istanbul Marathon champion.
In the women's race, Kipkei was in the leading pack throughout the race alongside Ethiopia's Iwot Gebrekidan, Tigist Memuye, Fatu Zerei, and Yeshi Kalayu Chekole. Memuye fell out of the leading pack, leaving 4 women to battle for top honors. Kipkei crossed the line in 2 hours, 22 minutes 06 seconds, ahead of Ethiopia's Iwot Gebrekidan, who came in second. Tigist Memuye settled for third position. Karanja David for Channel 1 Sport.
Harambee Stars winger Ayub Timbe is among the first professional players who have reported to Stars camp as they prepare to face Comoros in a 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying doubleheader. Timbe, who is currently unattached after announcing he had parted ways with Chinese club Beijing Rene, was among the first foreign-based players to arrive for the team's residential training alongside striker John Avere, who turns out for Tanta SC in Egypt, and Ismael Gonzalez of UD Las Palmas in Spain. Other foreign-based players expected in camp include Captain Victor Wanyama, Eric Johanna, Brian Mandela, keeper Arnold Origi, Joseph Okumu, and Johanna Omolo. The first leg will be played in Kasarani Stadium on November 11th under floodlights, while the second leg has been slated for November 15th. Kenyan Premier League side Wazito FC humbled Narok United 5-1 in a friendly match played at Narok's William Walentimama Stadium. Striker Maurice Ojwang scored the opener in the 2nd minute before Boniface Omondi added the second 2 minutes later. Joe Waithera scored the 3rd goal, while Bernardo Ching and Vincent Oboro completed the route for the Premier League outfit. Meitai Mei Tande scored the consolation goal for Narok United.
The friendly is just to familiarize ourselves with the ground, because this will be our home ground. So at least we have to come and get used to it. The only thing we couldn't come and play a bigger team here, because we are trying to see how the team can combine well, how we can score goals, and when it's tough, you you will make something good out of it.
In other news, Hurricanes' 88th minute header was enough to hand Tottenham maximum points against West Brom. West Brom's defence failed to track the England skipper's run into the box, allowing him to meet Matt Doherty's cross and nod a 150th Premier League goal over goalkeeper Sam Johnston.
Jay headed away by Dyer. It lifted, crossed to the back post. Hugo Lloris hoping that it goes here. Down goes Ndomba. Bale's brought it down. O'Shea was there to get it away. Rechion, has he got the pace? Good. Yeah. Kane. Or Dean Garner on his own up top. Lifted in by Doherty. Harry Kane! Running yet again! His 150th goal!
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this evening. However, we still have more in store for you. Up next is the weather update with Yusuf Farah, and later on we shall have Safina Chiengoma, who held an interview earlier on with Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa. Remember, this comes ahead of the 2020 State of the Nation address by President Uhuru Kenyatta this Thursday. My name is Jacky, Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter has been Byron Abuli. Have a good night.
Rainfall continues to dominate most parts of the country tonight, with Kericho recording temperatures of as low as 11 degrees, making it the coldest tonight in the country. A very warm welcome to you wherever you're watching us from. My name is Yusuf Farah. This is your Channel 1 with updates. Tomorrow morning, rainfall will be experienced in areas of the northeastern region, with areas of Mombasa, Malindi, Kilifi experiencing showers with sunny intervals. The capital city will wake up to rains in the morning with sunny intervals, with the exception of Kisii, that will be experiencing sunny intervals in the morning. Let's now take a look at how your afternoon will be on Monday. Showers accompanied by thunderstorms in areas of Kisumu, Kitale, Kisii, Kericho, Narok and Eldoret and its environs. Rains with sunny intervals in Mombasa continue to dominate your afternoon, and areas of the northeastern region continue to be having sunny intervals. Looking at the temperatures, Lodwar highs of 33, lows of 24, Marsabit highs of 27, lows of 19, and Garissa highs of 35 and lows of 25. That is your local weather forecast. I leave you with the international weather forecast. Remember, stay safe, wash your hands, and maintain social distance. Have yourself a lovely night.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you creating time to stay on KBC Channel 1 as we seek to explore issues that are of significance to the nation. Tonight, we just want to have a very serious conversation that touches on the devolution story, the successes, the misses, and some of the things that we have achieved with regards to the implementation of devolution, and also having this conversation in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. So how have our counties fared when it comes to the mitigation measures for COVID-19, and what is the way forward for counties? We are also going to be talking about expectations ahead of the State of the Nation address by President Uhuru Kenyatta this coming week. So join me as we begin this conversation. My name is Safina Chiengoma, and I'm going to be having this sit down with the Cabinet Secretary for Devolution, Eugene Wamalwa. Thank you so much, sir, for having us. All right, so we begin straight away with the Devolution story. You have been in this docket for quite some time, and you have also seen us transition into that journey of devolution for close to 7 years now. I would like to get from your perspective what you feel are some of the opportunities that were birthed by, us having to implement devolution.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the success story that is devolution. It is, I must say, it has been a transformative journey for our country. It's just over 7 years now, yet we have managed to cover so much ground since the 2010 promulgation of our constitution that ushered in a new era of devolution, where we have devolved resources to the counties and devolved power to the counties for Kenyans to be able to make their own decisions in their counties, in their localities, in accordance with their own priorities. So we are happy. I'm the third minister for devolution, and I want to thank my predecessors for the good work they did, beginning with Governor Wambiru, who was really the one to lay the foundation stone. And after that, my good brother Mwangi Kiunjuri came in, and I took over from him. So it's still a young child that we want to thank His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta for nurturing, because he is the president who has actually midwifed and nurtured this baby since the baby was born on his watch. And it's not been an easy journey. And it's taken quite a bit in terms of the challenges we have faced, and also the opportunities that have come with devolution in terms of reaching every corner of our country, and for the first time, corners of our country that had been left behind in terms of development are for the first time getting development, seeing tarmac roads for the first time in a place like Mandera, Wajir. They had never had tarmac roads for 50 years. And because of devolution, we are seeing transformation of these counties and our country generally. We have counties like Turkana that, you could not get basic health care, for our Kenyans living there. They had to travel miles to go all the way to Moi Referral Hospital just to get a CT scan or a dialysis. But now with devolution, we are getting well-equipped hospitals, better medical services from our counties to our fellow Kenyans. And there's something to celebrate. It has been a journey also with the challenges, as you are aware, that even as we have been devolving more resources to the counties, we have also been devolving corruption, because this has been a major challenge to devolution, actually. So I must say that 7 years later, it is a success story, but not without challenges.
Indeed, and we'll talk about the challenges just as we have this conversation. But just taking you back a bit, the aim was to ensure that every Kenyan gets a slice of the national cake and gets, to feel like they're part of this country and they feel like they're getting what they deserve as Kenyans. Would you say that we have achieved that? We still feel like there are quite a little bit of complaints and concerns from other regions. Would you say that we have achieved, that vision that we had?
I would say it's work in progress, because we must admit the truth that our country has been divided, and there has been some element of marginalization of certain parts of our country. And devolution, the key object of devolution really under Article 174 of our Constitution, was to really end this marginalization and bring about equalization, so that we're able to create a more just, a more equitable, a more inclusive country with shared prosperity. And devolution really holds the key to all this. And that is why, even as we saw the stalemate in the Senate over the new formula on equitable sharing of our revenue. It is the key issue so that we are able to bring about a more equitable society. And I must say we are making progress. And when you look at the leadership that His Excellency the President has provided, even when we had these stalemate, he stepped in and in consultation with the former Prime Minister and other leaders, we came together as a country, we worked with our Senate, and were able to break the stalemate. And now what we are looking at is a Kenya where every county is gaining, every county is getting an equitable and fair share of the national cake. And this is about to be enhanced as we engage in the national conversation through the BBI initiative that is doubling now, actually more than doubling what will be going to the counties from 15% to 35%. This will see a more equitable development across the country. So the era of marginalization is over, and the key to this is devolution. And therefore, as a Minister for Devolution, one thing as we are looking at the state of our nation that we ought to celebrate is devolution. And I'm very grateful to the President and the former Prime Minister that they made devolution really the centerpiece of the BBI initiative. And as we move forward, as we engage in our national conversation, there's nothing more important than the issue of devolution in the BBI conversation as we move forward. Because when devolution wins, every Kenyan is a winner. 47 million of us will be winners in all our 47 counties, because every county would win.
All right. Waziri, you say it has been a story of success, but not without challenges. I want us to get there. Talk to us about what you feel has been the biggest hindrance to the implementation of devolution 7 years, close to 7 years down the line.
I would say corruption remains the biggest enemy of devolution as we speak. Resources that have been sent to the counties that are meant to develop these counties have actually found the way into pockets of individuals. And on this score, again, we must celebrate the leadership provided by our president for leading from the front on the war against corruption, on the strengthening of our institutions, key institutions like the DCI. We are looking at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We are looking at the office of the DPP. They have all been strengthened, and at no point in our history have they received the political goodwill and support as they have under this administration. And also in terms of enhanced resources, this has given them more capacity. And we see more prominent prosecutions taking place, arrests taking place. And this shows you a country that is determined for the first time to fight corruption. And there are no sacred cows. The president has been very clear to us, even in cabinet, if you are found to have engaged, don't go to him. You go and face the full force of the law. And that's why you can see no one has been spared, right from cabinet to PSs to governors. We have many cases going on, many investigations going on, and this shows that we are indeed taking the bull by the horns. And we must thank the president for this, and also thank the leadership of the country for giving the president support, because on his own he can't win. We also urge the governors, because it will take they say kidole kimoja kiwezi kuwa chawa. We will need the president and the governors working together to be able to crush this mice of corruption. So apart from corruption, I would also say that we have had a problem of little of the resources going towards development. In fact, you have a situation where in some counties, the majority of the resources that are allocated are going to recurrent expense. When you have little going towards development, it also again defeats the objects of devolution, because it was meant to go and develop these counties. So it's one area that we want to, even as we are engaging in our national conversation on BBI, to see how, as we push more resources to the counties, how we can put mechanisms to ensure that the added resources actually go towards developing these counties. The third challenge has been the issue of counties over-relying on the national treasury, on the exchequer. We want to see counties generate more of their own revenue. On-source revenue is dwindling, and that is a key concern to us. So we want to see how that can be addressed. Because some counties are collecting less than the former local authorities. So we're asking what exactly is happening. So these are some of the challenges, but still, overall, devolution is a success story. Thank you.
It's interesting that you're talking about issues that revolve around funding and resources at the county level as the biggest challenges to devolution. And talking about the BBI report and the proposals contained therein, touching on the increased allocation of revenue to counties, which you mentioned earlier, and also talking about how to find a way of ensuring that the money that is taken to the counties is spent in the right way. I would like to understand also, if we have not, won the war against corruption at the county level, are we justified to ask for more funds? And even if we are talking about increasing the allocation to counties, do we have the money? Can we afford that if you look at our current circumstances?
Yes, I think it's a matter of making the decision. Of course, as I said, the Constitution gives that mandate to the Senate to ensure that they have an equitable way of sharing revenue between the two levels of government. So it is the desire of majority of Kenyans, and that is why I'm very confident that the majority of Kenyans will support BBI to bring more resources to them. This will be a key win for every Kenyan. And once that is decided, it will be implemented. Because when you look at what is going to the counties, we're talking about just about 316 billion. With what His Excellency the President added, we are looking at about 370 billion. That is still below 400 billion, because we could find one ministry that is actually getting about 400 billion. So it is something that...
How have we spent that?
Yes, it is something that... actually, yes, it is justifiable, because we are also seeing the impact that this is having on the ground and how we are turning these counties into new engines of socioeconomic transformation of our country. In fact, we are late. Countries like Nigeria that started early have grown their economies through these building blocks that the regions have become. So if we strengthen the counties, they will be the new engines of our economic growth. And I've been to some counties that have done wonders. I just came from Kitui about a week ago, and I was impressed by what Governor Ngilo has done. With the little money she has done, she has started factories that are generating income for young people. When COVID came, we had challenges, importing masks, PPEs from China. But now, as we speak, PPEs, we have masks being made in Kikotech, in Kitui, quality. And in the process, they are generating income. They're young people, young girls, young men who are working there and getting employment. Now, with the little she has been doing, she has been getting, she's done wonders. I was asking myself, if we were able to give her double, she said she can be able to create more Kikotechs in every sub-county. Now, this is how, once you grow the local economy, you spur local economic development, then you are now, you are growing our national economy as well. So we must give the counties more. But also, what I must emphasize is that as we devote more resources, we must also enhance accountability. We must be able to ensure we hold the governors accountable. And this is something that we all have to work together to increase on the mechanisms of ensuring transparency and accountability in the use of this money.
All right. Are we also looking at how to inspire the counties to generate more? How can we also tap into that, area?
This, I think, we must thank CRA. CRA has been coming up with new incentives to incentivize, counties to do better. We also must thank our development partners. We have a program with the World Bank, Kenya Devolution Support Program, where we are rewarding performance, and we have about 20 billion from the World Bank that we have been giving to the counties, and when counties perform and they are rewarded, they're encouraged to perform. The first year, I remember when I took over the ministry, we had just 13 counties that qualified. Eventually, we have seen a huge improvement to 20-something. Then lately, we have over 30 counties that have qualified, 33 actually, meaning performance is improving. And when you incentivize counties, you will be able to get better results and better performance. So this is one area that we are looking at as a ministry that is in charge of supporting the counties, building their capacity and giving them technical assistance. We were working very closely to incentivize them, to reward performance. And there are some outstanding counties, like I've said, Kitui, Makueni, they're doing very, very well. Kakamega, Governor Oparanya's county is doing very. So they are all on our top list of the counties that have received recognition nationally and internationally. And they are being rewarded. So we want to see more of that.
Okay, we hope that that will be replicated across the country to other counties as well. All right, let's talk about the proposal to introduce a Ward Development Fund contained in the BBI report. What do you think inspired this, and what difference is it going to make?
I think we want to see devolution strengthened. So even as we are talking about devolving more resources, would want those resources devolved to have the greatest impact in every county, in every sub-county, in every ward and location. It's very important that that happens. Because we do know that just the way there was marginalization nationally, where it would depend on the generosity of who is at State House, you would have to go and say, Serikali saidia, Serikali tunaomba. But with devolution now, you don't have to do that. The equitable sharing of that national cake is guaranteed by the Constitution to every Kenyan in whichever county they may live, no matter what region or religion they belong to. This is the greatest achievement, actually, that our new Constitution has guaranteed every Kenyan. But also we know that just the way that marginalization was there, but even within counties, I have been to some counties where there have been complaints, and particularly counties that have strong inter-clan issues, clashes. You find that once one governor leaves office belonging to a certain clan and another one comes, those of the other clan are victimized, they are marginalized. So there's still marginalization even intra-county. So this is one thing we want to address, that if you have this county that has this number of wards, and maybe some clans are in this area, others are being sidelined, everyone is protected. Every ward in Kenya, 1,450 of them, will get their rightful share. So all we would want is to urge Kenyans to give us honest leaders, leaders of integrity, from the governors to the MCAs, to the MPs, so that we make sure that when these resources reach the counties, they achieve the primary objective as set out under Article 174. So that the objects of devolution are realized. And we believe that MCS have been pushing for this. Now the BBI presents a very good opportunity to ensure that this succeeds, to ensure that there's equitable sharing of the national cake down to the ward, so that every ward in Kenya, every county in Kenya, in every corner of our country receives development equitably.
Again, I'll go back to my initial question. Can we afford this? Because many critics of the BBI tend to feel like it's an expensive affair for the country. Like, for instance, it's sort of like duplicating fountains of funds. We have the funds that are allocated to the counties. We have the CDF as also a source of fund. We have, creating another, source of fund again for a similar region. Isn't it duplicating,
It is not duplication as such. It is just a part of what is going to the counties, going to the wards. And the MCA having, it's about 5% of that. So it will ensure that also MCAs are not blackmailed by governors, so that you have your own priorities in your ward with the community there. You are, they say it's the wearer of the shoe who knows where it pinches. So it's not duplication. As to the issue of the CDF, I think that's an ongoing, it's part of the national conversation, and I was very happy to see the robust engagement in Naivasha when His Excellency the President and Prime Minister Raila Odinga engaged the members of Parliament. I think they are finding a way forward in terms of CDF and how the future will be.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the women agenda, and there is that proposal to scrap the women representatives position and introduce, a senatorial post for a male and a female for every county. Again, how is this balance going to change the narrative in the leadership of the country, and specifically the counties?
I think it's a good thing because it means, for one, with the added resources going to the counties, the Senate would have greater responsibilities. And to have 47 women senators where the actual cake will be shared is a big, big boost for the women of Kenya. That this culture that we've had, being a patriarchal society, that the women's place is in the kitchen, at home, cooking for children, is something that has been overtaken by events. And now we must be prepared to give women their rightful place on all forums of leadership. And the Senate is going to play a critical role in the leadership of this country. So in every county, women will be heard because they will be in the Senate. They will determine what's going to the counties. They will determine what is happening in their counties. And this is something very, very important. Apart from that, we will also be having the progressive nurturing of women into leadership of governorship. Right now, we only had 3 women, including my good friend, the late Joyce Laboso, that we lost. Of course, after we lost her place also. Now we only have Governor Iguru and Governor Ngilu. They are doing very well, but we would like to see more women in leadership as governors. We're very, very happy to see the American elections elevating for the first time a woman to the high office of vice president.
Will Kenya ever get there?
We see us going there, and that is why BBI is going to play a major role, because with more women deputy governors, it will be very easy for them to actually become governors. They will be within striking distance, and I think it's one way of empowering women at the counties, then empowering women at the national level, ensuring that we have one man and one woman from every county in our Senate. It's a big step in the right direction. Thank you.
It's a new dawn
it is a new dawn for Kenya and for the women of Kenya, because regionally I can say that we had been left behind. Because when you look at the other parliaments, when you look at Rwanda, they are over 50%. They were at 50-50. You look at Uganda, you look at Tanzania, they are all in terms of percentage over 30%. So though Kenya in the region, we are the economic superpower, we're the military superpower, but when it comes to matters to do with women and leadership, we are the regional dwarfs. But through BBI, we are actually stepping forward. And I think very soon we'll be able to take our rightful place as leaders in the region.
Let's talk about the current crisis, the COVID-19 crisis. We are in the second week of this particular crisis, Waziri, and as the last time I checked, so far over 60,000 people have tested positive to the coronavirus in our country, and over 1,000 people have died. Currently, if I look at, the state of preparedness across the counties, recently there was that 6th extraordinary session on the National and County Governments Coordinating Summit, where the COG of the Council of Governors raised something that was really worrying, if you may ask me, that 12 counties are yet to reach the minimum 300 bed capacity, and 11 counties had less than 5 ICU beds. Talking about such numbers in the wake of a second wave of COVID-19, should we be worried?
We should be worried because as we speak, when you look at what's happening in the world, America, I think, is the hardest hit so far, losing, with over 100,000 daily infections. They have lost over 200,000 lives, and millions have been infected. And when the matter became the main issue in this election, it has actually taken Donald Trump home, because Americans have taken the matter very, very seriously. When it was looking like he was not being very sincere about the seriousness of the situation. Joe Biden was very forthright, and he has said America is facing a dark winter, meaning the second wave is coming, is already hitting America. In Europe also, I saw Angela Merkel, the Chancellor, talking about Europe also facing a difficult winter because the second wave is coming. When we'll have the 6th extraordinary summit and we listen to the situation, the experts, we all said the second wave is here with us in Kenya, so we must do more. So even for counties that were letting down their guard, I think time has come now for us to do more than what we're doing. But also the crisis has given us the opportunity to realize how important it is for us to work together, both levels of government. In the spirit of Article 6, we are supposed to consult, to cooperate, and to collaborate. Now, at no time have intergovernmental relations be as good as they are right now. Because of this crisis, the two levels of government have come closer. We've had 6 summits back to back in 1 year. It had never happened. And this has made it very, very possible for us to achieve quite a lot together and to realize that when it comes to the lives of Kenyans, there are no Kenyans who belong to the county governments or Kenyans who belong to the national government. We all serve the same Kenyans. So we are not in competition as a national government and county government. We are not competitors. We are supposed to complement each other. And that's what we've been doing. And we have set committees. When you look at all the committees that were set up, including the national emergency one led by Mutahi Kagwe, we had a co-chair, Governor Kuti, the chair health. When we were talking about the one for business and economic recovery, chaired by CSE attorney, we had Professor Nyong'o there and Governor Wangamati Bungoma working with him there. We had the one chaired by Dr. Matiang'i, as well as Governor Oparanya, and the one for food security. We had Munya, myself, with the Tharaka Nithi Governor, Muthomi Njuki. So we have been working shoulder to shoulder, facing this crisis together, and I believe we have achieved a lot. We have increased our bed capacity across the country. We have also been able to ensure that even counties that had no ICU, each county has now isolation units and ICUs, but all we want is to ask them to do more. Whatever we have given them, they must dedicate towards ensuring that we improve our bed capacity, our services.
So far, what would you say about how the funds that were allocated to counties for COVID response have been spent? What would you say?
I would say, I think for speaking for the counties, they have tried their best, and I believe going into the future. We have set mechanisms to ensure that they do better. Because a vaccine has not been found, we are not seeing this thing going away. Even in America, they are talking of trials, but we are not yet out of the woods. So we must still dedicate more resources, more focus, and more commitment towards fighting COVID-19. It's the greatest threat we have faced since our independence.
And the second wave is serious. What do you think has been like the weakest link in the war against COVID? We were, a while back, we were sort of like getting into a safe zone, and then suddenly things began rising, the trajectory.
Well, like things were getting better, so I must say we had relaxed a bit. And of course, we also had to weigh against the consequences of shutting down the economy and balancing. But still, as we have said, the president has repeated time and again, personal responsibility still remains the most critical issue, so that every citizen must take personal responsibility, but more so as the leaders. We must, as I was listening to Biden make his speech today, there's nothing as powerful as the power of example. We must lead by example. That is all I do to plead with other leaders, so that when we say we do away with the big rallies that are big spreaders, the funerals are big spreaders, then that should actually be taken seriously, beginning with the leaders ourselves.
What did you say was the biggest take-home from the 6th Extraordinary Summit? What is happening already and what should be expected?
I would say the commitment by our governors and the realization that this thing is not over, and the rededication of all of us to ensure that we fight harder and we work more closely together.
All right. I want us to talk about the future of devolution, and allow me bring in the Nairobi Metropolitan Service into this conversation. So far, let's begin here. If you look at since it was established and certain functions.
Yes, I would say that our constitution allows the transfer of functions between the two levels of government, from the county to the national, but also from the national to the county. So there was nothing strange about the Nairobi Metropolitan Service being formed and the transfer of certain functions, because we had a situation of paralysis in the leadership of the Nairobi City County, and the governor himself reached out to His Excellency the President, and after consultations, it was agreed that 4 key functions be transferred to the national government. And so far, you can see a great impact. General Badi has done a wonderful job. I think if you are to look at the 100 or so days of Badi and 1,000 days of the Sonko administration, you can see that so much has been achieved within a very short period. And I believe the 2 years given, because it's not that we dissolve the Nairobi county government. The county government remains with other functions, with its governor, and the functions were only transferred for a period of 2 years. And within a year, actually, the NMS, the national government, is supposed to, make a report to Parliament to account for what has been done, brief them on the progress, as well as to the County Assembly of Nairobi. So I believe that when we are doing this annual report, we will be able to show the country what has been achieved within a very short time. It is our desire that no county fails or is challenged. It should be able to, discharge its mandate ably. And for us as national government, our role is policy leadership, is capacity building, and the technical assistance. But we would only come in where there are situations that demand so.
Like what is happening?
Like what has happened in Nairobi. And
so what happens after 2 years, Uziri? Are the functions going to be returned back?
Yes, they revert back, and constitutionally they remain the mandate of the county government. They have only been lent to us for a short period, and on an understanding on what needs to be done. And so much is being fixed when you look at transport, when you look at health. Within the next 1 year, when we are now showcasing what has been done, even Nairobians themselves will be happy. When you go to slums like Korogosho, you go to Mukuru kwa Njenga, Mukuru kwa Ruben, Mukuru Kayaba, you will be shocked to see what is happening. Mbadi has penetrated those slums. We have seen the president visiting himself. We have new hospitals coming up and social amenities in areas that had totally been ignored. So we are happy with the progress, but also we will continue giving capacity to the county government of Nairobi so that it is able to serve the people better. The ultimate goal is service delivery. And really what every Nairobian wants, they don't care whether they are being served by the left or the right hand. What they want is service delivery. That is something we cannot compromise over.
Okay. Let's talk about, some concerns that have been raised with regards to what then this means for the future of devolution. Does it mean that we are going back, that at some point we could just go back to having one national government?
No, not true, not true. In fact, that I would say has been propaganda, that there's an intention of the national government clawing back, killing some counties, and maybe killing devolution, as it happened after independence. That is not the intention of this administration. I think if there is one president who has shown his commitment to devolution, is President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I think we had the right man at the right place at the right time. When devolution was ushered in, he was the president who actually oversaw the birth of devolution and has nurtured it. And though the constitution requires that we have not less than 15%, when you look at what has been allocated right from 2013-2014 up to now, it has always been about 15%. And now it is the same president leading from the front to say it's now time that we give more to the counties, together with the Prime Minister. This is one area where his commitment cannot be doubted, and it's self-evident.
Talking about the head of state, he is expected to be giving a State of the Nation address this coming week, specifically on Thursday. Ahead of that, expectations remain high. A lot is happening in the country right now. From where you sit, what do you think should be his center of focus?
I think his center of focus should be national unity. They say in times of crisis, the wise build bridges, the fools build walls. And we have seen that when we came out of the elections, our country was divided. People lost lives. And this has happened every cycle of elections. And that informed the wise decision of the president and the former prime minister, the protagonists coming together, having a handshake, and peacefully resolving their differences and putting the country above their personal, differences that had costed the country so much that was actually sending the economy down the drain. So that wisdom is what gave birth to the BBI initiative, and I believe even as he speaks to the country, apart from the crisis we had during the elections, that the handshake restored calm in the country. The economy started peaking. We're doing very well, then we were hit by drought, we were hit by floods, we were hit by a locust invasion, and here comes COVID, in the most difficult period for our country. Kenya is a very resilient country, but never in our history has our resilience been tested to this extent. So in times of crisis, the wise build bridges. In times of crisis, the fools build walls. Where we are, we need to pull together to build bridges, whatever differences we've had, bring the country together so that we are able to face these crises head on. We have a health crisis on our hands, the worst we've ever had. We have an economic crisis on our hands. So we need the country to pull together, to work together. 2022 will come. We can go back to our camps, we can compete, we can fight, but for now, I think the president is asking for support to bring the country together, to fight the common enemy that is COVID-19, that is the economic crisis we are facing. And to do this, we must pull together. To me, I think that message is very, very important. The rest, we have seen what has been achieved in terms of the Big Four agenda, in terms of our infrastructural development. When you look at what we've done in terms of the SGR reaching Naivasha, now we have the old railway being revived all the way up to Nanyuki. That is progress. The one that is now being worked on to Kisumu, that is progress. Once we connect with the Kisumu port that is ready for launching the end of the year, we'll see a boost in maritime transport across Lake Victoria. And we'll see Kisumu becoming again the hub of the East African maritime business. So we are seeing big things happening in our country that, of course, he will highlight. When you look at matters electricity, we've done very well. We have over 7 million Kenyans connected. We have a lot to celebrate. And these are things that we want to look at and say, look, we're making progress. Even in terms of digitalizing, look at our land records. We are making steady progress. The digitization of the judiciary, this is something to celebrate. The President and the Chief Justice have worked together very, very well. And we are seeing improved services across the country. So there's a lot to celebrate, even in health itself. In spite of the crisis we are facing, we have now, as we speak, through the strategy set between the national government and the counties, every county now has a level 4 hospital. And this is beginning to impact in terms of the crisis we are getting. So even as we're equipping these hospitals, we are actually working towards realization of UHC, because once we have better equipped hospitals, we have better health services. And I believe the president in his speech will be able to highlight most of these things. So we have a lot to celebrate, including our roads. Looking at the number of kilometers that have been built within a very short time. We have over 7,000 kilometers. The target was 10,000. I believe by 2022, we should be able to hit target. And my brother Macharia has done very well. I believe the president will be highlighting that in spite of the crisis we are facing, in spite of the difficulties of today and tomorrow, Kenya is making progress. When you go to renewable energy, just the other day, the president was up in Garissa launching the solar plant. Before that, he was up in Loyangalani, the Lake Turkana wind power, the largest in Africa. So, the problem with Kenyans, we tend to look at, what divides us. But we do not have time to also celebrate the successes, the steady progress we are making in Africa. In fact, when we are talking of Africa rising, Kenya is a rising star of Africa. Yet we focus on besmirching each other and mudslinging instead of also looking at what unites us, bringing the best out of us. This is our biggest witness. So I believe as the president comes to address us, as we look at the state of our nation, in spite of the challenges we are facing, I believe we have a lot to celebrate and a lot of blessings to count and to thank God for as a nation.
Thank you so much, Waziri. He will be looking at the, bright side of the story. Thank you so much for sharing with us, for creating time for us. just taking us through the chapters of the Devolution story and how we are faring in the war against COVID-19 across the counties. That is the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Devolution, Eugene Wamalwa, shedding some light on quite a number of issues that are significant to this particular country tonight. And we also thank you for creating time to catch this interview. My name is Safina Chieng Oma. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Vera Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET-approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 227428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
Say all kind of things about you.
With them on, just shake up. Need to mush you and done to mush you. When your booty got show me now.
Baby, one time, bossy baby, give me two times. Full 180, crazy.
Let's go. Ha. I needed some with some bobbies.
Mamacita, where you at? I've been trying to reach you.
Katoto shepu awe, ayawe, ayawe.
Tekenya katoto, kamini tekenya, tekenya katoto.
Napenda kukusalimu sana mtazamaji wangu katika jina la Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo. Majina yangu ni Pastor Evans Maina Ilongo na hudumu na kanisa la Full Gospel Churches of Kenya katika mtaa wa Huruma mjini Nairobi. Nashukuru Bwana kwa sababu ya nafasi hii ambayo ametupatia.